You know what I mean. You can feel the excitement, the tension, the charisma that surrounds that stadium every Saturday afternoon. Especially 10 to 14 minutes before kickoff when a hush settles over that stadium and we all anxiously wait for that simple forward command to emanate out of the PA system. I can hear it now. Band, take the field. And out of that eastern tunnel pour 215 well-drilled, well-disciplined Michigan bandsmen. They pour over the eastern sideline. They form the big block M, and they play the greatest college fight song ever written, the Meechigan Victors. That's when the chills go up and down your spine. You get goose pimples all over. Your blood turns maize and blue. And everybody out there becomes part of the winningest tradition in the history of Big Ten football, as well as the winningest tradition in the history of Big Ten athletics. George Cavender, let's rev him up. George Cavender, let's rev him up with a little bit of Michigan band music. Take it away. Hit it, George. George, old buddy. Let's play, George, let's play President Ford's favorite fight song. And folks, let's join in and sing the song that the late and great John Philip Sousa claimed was the greatest college fight song ever written, the Meechigan Victors. Hit it, George.
And how does Robert Frost Ufer sum it all up? Just like this. The #1 team in the country met the Badgers with feet of clay. For Bo's Big Blue, for me, for you, 'twas a most disheartening day. But champions are never beaten. Bo's Big Blue machine came back to knock off the Irish of Notre Dame and get back on that #1 track. I tell you, this Anthony Carter is something else again. He was at the 12-yard line when Wangler dropped back at the 27-yard line and threw that pass way over everybody's head. Carter just sailed into the corner of the end zone, caught it, unmolested. Nobody in the United States of America could have stopped that pass from getting into Carter's hands.
Each Saturday afternoon, faithfully at game time, his voice colorfully describes the gridiron action over the Michigan Football Network. He's as much a part of Ann Arbor as dormitories, State Street, final exams, the art fair, tailgate picnics, and the Michigan Football Stadium itself. He is the voice of Michigan football.
Wangler may run with the ball. He's going to run. He's down to the 10, goes out of bounds. And is he hit? Look out, knee. Oh, there's only one thing more fragile than Wangler's knee, and that's sending cookies in the mail. Oh, he's okay. He's getting up. Whew. Then the Wolverines and Spartans were at it once again, and much to everyone's surprise, State went home with a win. And the Badgers and the Gophers were of little or no concern, and Iowa and Northwestern barely knew which way to turn. And then Bo's boys were ready to bury Jim Young's Purdue in front of a cheering sellout crowd. Just what else could they do? Ohio and Michigan, Woody and Bo, 22 men all psyched up to go. The Rose Bowl and championship always at stake. For that game of the year, fans breathlessly wait. Fourth place in the Big Ten for the loser today. Will it be maize and blue or scarlet and gray? But Bo is no loser, as Woody well knows, and the blue left the field smelling just like a rose. In the hole that Yost dug, Canham carpeted, and Chrysler paid for, and Schembeckler fills up with her electric... Oh, what the hell, he fills it up every Saturday afternoon.
Ufer began to reminisce a bit and decided to explain why he calls his beloved Michigan, Meechigan.
Well, since we have a moment or so right now, maybe you'd like to know where the Meechigan came from. Well, it all started some 77 years ago when a man came from the West Coast to the University of Michigan by the name of Fielding H. Yost. And over the following 40 years, he put together the greatest athletic program in the history of Big Ten athletics in general, and Big Ten football in particular. Why, early in the 1940s, in the twilight years of the late and great Fielding H. Yost, I happened to be an undergraduate student at Michigan and was a member of the university track team. And during the winter months in those days, one could almost always find Coach Yost on any afternoon sitting on that old wooden bench at the north end of Yost Fieldhouse. And in between time trials and track, we on the track team would all sit around there with the old coach. I can see Yost now with that old felt hat on, chewing on his famous cigar, reminiscing and talking on endlessly about his Meechigan and the dreams that he'd hoped for and realized for his wonderful university. Coach Yost originally came from West Virginia, and he had a decided southern drawl and accent. Thus, Yost always referred to his Meechigan instead of Michigan. So down through the years on these Michigan football broadcasts, we kind of figured that if Fielding H. Yost could talk about his Meechigan, there wasn't anything wrong with old Bob Ufer referring to it in that way, especially at a time when Michigan was exhibiting everything that Yost ever stood for.
And across our network of stations, right through this microphone, our listeners heard old Robert Frost Ufer, his final statement, my final statement in 1969. It'll be my final statement again in 1975, 6 days from now, about 4:30 in the afternoon. It'll go like this. And so, today, November 22nd, no Michigan man will ever forget, because today is the day Ohio came to bury Michigan, all wrapped in maize and blue. The words were said, the prayers were read, and everybody cried. But when they closed the coffin, there was someone else inside. Oh, the Buckeyes came to bury the Wolverines, but Michigan wasn't dead. And when that game was over, it was someone else instead. 22 Michigan Wolverines put on the gloves of gray, and as Ravelli played the victors, they laid Woody Hayes away.
And while we're touching on a bit of poetry, mentioning the visions of sugar plums, let's see how old Robert Frost Ufer sums up this Michigan 1977 Big Ten Championship football season in poetry. With a Michigan band playing the alma mater in the background, the yellow and blue, here's how old Robert Frost just saw this 77 season completed. Big Bo is a winner, it can't be denied. Few have defeated him, though many have tried. The Illini with Moeller would love to have won, but Bo showed Mo it just couldn't be done. Then Duke was throttled, the Navy was sunk. Texas A&M was roped and branded. The Spartans from State put up a great fight, but another defeat they were handed. Then who would believe, not the Badgers, I'll bet, that they would be beaten so soundly? But up jumped the devil with his little brown jug, and Bo's maize and blue suffered profoundly. Down but not out was Bo's blue machine, as the Hawkeyes were taught to believe, for Bo and his troops got right back on track as a homecoming win they achieved. Then Northwestern scored first, got 20 big points, but that's just about all they could do, for Bo's Wolverines amassed quite a score, getting set for Jim Young and Purdue. Now everyone saw what this game meant, and the whole season hinged on the score, but Bo's Wolverines stood up to the test. Who could ask for anything more? Ohio and Michigan, Woody and Bo, 22 men all psyched up to go. The Rose Bowl, the championship, always at stake. The day draws near, fans breathlessly wait. The Buckeyes roared in for the game of the year. The teams, the coaches were all in high gear. Bo and his boys designed all the plays, and the Buckeyes went home with a maize and blue haze.
When Saturday afternoons roll round on those crisp October days on Canham's carpet in the whole Yost dug, we were caught up in the craze of the clash of titans on open field in a game of brawn and brains, of passes, punts, and sparkling plays, of critical one-yard gains. For decades now, the throngs have come on the day of each big game to watch the Wolverines achieve their goal of everlasting fame. The greats who played upon the field are names most all remember. It's been that way for 100 years, each autumn through December. 100,000 strong they stood to cheer the maize and blue, with the victors ringing in their ears. It's thunder how it grew. But then is heard the voice of one, the school's truest fan. Look there high up in the press box now. The spirit of him stands. Ufer, 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 the crowd roars out his name. The broadcaster who set the tone and brought us to the game. The seasons come and seasons go, but he is always there. I still hear his description done with style, with zest and flair. Ufer, 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 I still hear the chant ring out. That he was the best at what he did, we now know without a doubt. And now we're left with memory, and now we are apart. But we love this man, this rabid fan. God bless his maize and blue heart.